Hello Africa, welcome to AAU Talks on AAU TV, the voice of higher education in Africa, and it is brought to you by the Association of African Universities. My name is Isabella Henakwa. Today on AAU Talks, we are coming to talk about identifying the hurdles hampering industrialization in Africa. And I have here with me Dr. AbuBako. He is the president of Lagos Rema Foundation for Leadership Resource Development. Please stay tuned, and when we come back, we shall start with the discussion. Doc, welcome to AAU Talks.
Thank you very much.
First of all, I'd like to know the state of industrialization in Africa. How bad is the gap between Africa and industrialization?
When it comes to industrialization, industry has to do with the ability to produce what is needed. Now, so it's just that it's been redefined to be whatever is being made by others other than Africans. Because when it came to industrialization, originally, Africa had gone ahead of many, even in terms of cities. Benin City, in Nigeria, the Benin Kingdom had, street lights long before the West. It's recorded. Glass, in terms of colored glass, Burkina Faso had colored glass before the rest of the world in many respects. If it came to other things, including the aspect of story buildings, water systems, Africa had that, and the Sumerians, of course, before the rest of the world. So what are we talking about in terms of industrialization? The state is that there has been a deindustrialization because whatever had been built was destroyed during the invasions of the colonialists to ensure, and some that they couldn't destroy, they took away. That said, currently it's quite a sorry state because we've not been empowered to think as the solutions looking for problems to solve. Anytime you see problems, it should be an indication that you are a solution. Does that help? Yeah. So in terms of what is the state of the African industrialization, it is not in its best state because we have been miseducated. I want to stop there for now.
So aside we being empowered and miseducation, what other challenges is affecting us?
Okay. There is the aspect of, trade barriers, free movement of goods and services, then protocols not being observed, even regional protocols, especially for ECOWAS, since you are in the West African sub-region. The ECOWAS protocols that are supposed to have been observed that have to do with free movement of people, free movement of goods, etc., etc. We don't seem to have implemented that. Now, as long as we don't implement that, we'll end up with some of the challenges we're having. And then there is the aspect of, capital input. And factors of production go beyond just the monetary capital, but all the other resources that are needed as inputs, because your inputs determine your output. So both in terms of even planning, implementation, monitoring, and evaluation processes that should be put in place. Then the aspect of policy that creates the enabling environment for industrialization. We need to look at all of these.
How do we tackle these challenges?
We'll be able to tackle the challenge when we solve the identity crisis challenge. What do I mean? Africans and even politicians. Because the word politics comes from the Latin word politicus, C-U-S, which is from the Greek word politikos, P-O-L-I-T-I-K-O-S, kos. Yes. Now, but that's from the root polis. And the word polis, you've seen it everywhere. Megapolis, metropolis. So polis means a city. So the running of the affairs of a city-state for the betterment of all the inhabitants, the activities, the processes of gaining power, holding it to better the lives, is what is supposed to be called politics. Then who is a politician? A politician is supposed to be somebody who is out to be a model citizen of the city. So that if everybody behaved like him or her, you'll have the best city and the best nation. And then number two, because there are 5 basic definitions, one that is out to raise the welfare of the general group. So you're out for the welfare of the general group, not just yours or your own little group. Then 3, one that is out to raise the standard of living of the people. By the time he finishes with you, you are much, much, much better than you've ever been all your life. And then number 4, one that is out to raise the moral standards of the society. So you do not maintain the status quo, you raise the bar. Now, if you are not raising the bar, political banditry, brigandage, ballot box stuffing, snatching will not even arise, because you're the one actually helping people with the moral high ground. Then, finally, the aspect of number 5, one that is out to take people into their destiny in God, in life, in that season, that generation, in history. If you don't know your own destiny, know the destiny of the nation or the city or the state, what are you doing in that seat? That means you're not a politician, you're a politicaster. And a politicaster in English is a petty politician, you know, an imposter, and somebody that is actually inferior. Because the word aster is actually a suffix. That's why politicaster. So an inferior, you know, politician, somebody who is a petty politician, somebody who is a pretender to politics, somebody who is actually an imposter. He is not. And may I say that actually we seem to have more politicasters than politicians in Africa and the rest of the world, but it's more pronounced since we're talking about Africa. And as a result, when the real politicians don't get into political office and politicasters get into political office, what do you expect in terms of industrialization? Precisely. So that seems to be the challenge we have.
Today we are here talking about AFTA. I would like to ask, how is AFTA going to provide business opportunities to boost industrialization in Africa?
AFTA is a very, very good, you know, project. I call it a project in the sense that it's a concept, but I want to see it at work. If it is properly shepherded and guided in the direction it must go, AFTA might be the rescuer for Africa's industrialization. But I must caution that we must make sure that we ensure the individual economies, the nations, are being helped to really get to a place where they can compete favorably, so that everybody's competitive advantage is enhanced. And then we can have that level of, you know, no tariffs, trade barriers being removed and all of that, trade liberalization for whom? Empowerment for whom? So we need to know by whom, because even for Africa, most of the times it's foreign interests that come and they want to run it. Even for what we have right now, we thank God for, you know, European Union. But why must it be European Union that should be sponsoring what we're doing here? I mean, something is wrong. Yeah. So after rise, let's do something so that we'll be the ones that are running our own thing indigenously. Because if you cannot feed yourself in your house, people will not respect you outside. And let's get to feeding ourselves, even mentally, feeding ourselves physically. Then we'll be able to do a lot in that respect. So after, we'll be able to help. If the think tanks can continue like this, that's one. Secondly, when they network and they reap the economies of scale, which is because of the big market, then you'll be able to do that.
In wrapping up, I would like to ask, how can the African higher education sector help strengthen the pillars of industrialization?
When captains of industry, then those who are academicians, especially those who plan academic curricula, can get together at the curriculum development stage, so that then, whoever is being produced to meet the needs in the industry, because the people were part of the development of that particular curriculum. Because currently we have a challenge where you have too many jobs chasing too few qualified people for the jobs, and then too many qualified people chasing too few jobs that they are qualified for, because there are many that have gone through all kinds of education, which is literacy and numeracy, and they are not qualified, they are not good. So we need to ensure that we do that, because I could have gone to all the other sectors of the economy. They should all be involved as stakeholders in curriculum development.
Thank you very much, Doctor.
Thank you for having me.